Well, Jazakallah so much.
I
Can you
mean,
maybe, just quickly explain, we know and understand, the activism and the solidarity that South Africans have shown with the people of Palestine over time, and it has been, enhanced, right now. But when it comes to AXA Week, how different is it to, general solidarity with the people of Palestine and what's currently going on right now? And why should people take it even more serious than they would normally do?
Alhamdulillah, for the question. Firstly, Aqsa Week has been going on for a past few years now. And the reason for Aqsa Week actually started off in the UK, where the Friends of Aqsa started the initiative of creating awareness of Masjid al-Aqsa. Currently, since the 7th of October 2023, it has been highlighted even extra. I think the awareness on the 7th of October, the whole thing just came together, making people realize the importance of Aqsa and the political importance, let alone the religious and spiritual importance of Masjid al-Aqsa. People now starting to see where this whole thing of Aqsa fits into the whole picture of the world regarding the Zionist entity having to have played a massive role throughout the political aspects of Aqsa from 1948, since the Nakba, and then, of course, the Intifadas. And of course, we haven't forgotten Tentura in 1948 as well, where they virtually just wiped out communities and in a very pathetic way. That is the time that we should have stood ground and actually made a noise and stood up. But Alhamdulillah for South Africa, the reality of the South Africans, the people in South Africa are so conscious of Aqsa due to Nelson Mandela, our legend Nelson Mandela, who we haven't forgotten, has played a vital role in the upliftment of the whole Palestinian issue. I mean, many years ago in 2013, we were fortunate enough to have visited Aqsa, and my husband and I were going to a funeral, and when we got to this funeral home, they had a huge picture of Nelson Mandela. So it just goes to show the importance South Africa has played. I mean, not now only, years ago.
Definitely. And we've seen in recent times, especially since after what happened on the 7th of October, where South Africans, we've been on the streets. There's been a lot of protests. There's been a lot of engagements regarding what's currently happening in Palestine. Currently, with AXA Week, how can organizations like yourselves, Muslim Women's Forum, local councils and mosques and universities show their support, for the Palestinian cause and having AXA Week as their overarching theme?
Yes. Okay. So, firstly, we have been spiritually involved praying for Aqsa. Praying is not the only way to create attention. So we had to go out onto the streets and march. We had to do boycotts of certain products. We had to contribute, as in funding charities that are doing work on the ground in Gaza. And all of these together with our spirituality, fasting, um, being part of Aqsa programs like Palestinian Information Network, South African Friends of Aqsa, all of these play a vital role. Media Review Network, joining organizations as such makes a huge impact in having to highlight what is going on in Palestine. These people have no voices. There's just atrocities and there's just murders on a daily basis without any reasoning behind it, and they have no voices. As a result, the whole world has to stand up. And by this happening, the whole world has created this awareness. There are marches throughout the world in places, in countries that you never dreamt of. There is an awakening. So Alhamdulillah for this Aqsa week, it has highlighted a lot in the past and will continue highlighting. So currently, we are running a competition and various competitions with Palestinian Information Network. There's a coloring in competition. There's stories of the Sahaba. And likewise, with many other organizations, madrasas participating. I know for our madrasa here in Nelspruit, they've done a huge timeline of what has been happening in Masjid al-Aqsa, from the timeline, from the time of the Nakba, from the time that the Palestinians started going from the Holocaust, basically. From there onwards, they've done a timeline right up to the current status. So that is so important for people to know the history of what had happened there, in order to know where we are at the moment and what actions we need to take.
Mm, mm. And what really stood out for me, stands out for me during this time, is how different people are all coming with different capabilities. People, you have people in the media, like ourselves, that are driving the message of the Palestinian people. You have people in all facets of life. You have lawyers, that are drafting cases against the Israeli occupation government. But I heard from a little birdie that you yourself, you are an artist. You involved in some kind of art. How can artists, which we know here in South Africa, played a big role, in emancipating the people of this country against a really aggressive apartheid regime. How important are artists like yourselves in telling the people around the world about what's happening in Palestine, but most importantly during this week, what is Al-Aqsa and why is it so important?
Okay, so basically, you can raise your voice in any form, whether it be in marches, it creates the difference, whether it be in the form of speeches, whether it be in the form of poetry. People like Salam Media, all of our radio stations have played an important role in highlighting this. People like Salam Media had brought down Abir Zayad, for that matter, last year. Currently, we have Colors of Hope bringing down, Salam Foundation bringing down a few other speakers as well. So bringing along all of these speakers just helps to highlight what is going on, because we are not there. You need people that are on the ground level to educate us about what's happening in Aqsa. And as a result, even artists like myself play an important role, because we sent up our art in the format of having to educate people, whether it be in the form of sales, whether it be in the form of every person having something in their home that reminds them of Aqsa. It's important. Whether it's selling the item so that the contributions can go to the various organizations in having to fund the projects that are going on, and for basic needs. Like Salam Media had asked me to collect a bit of money, and we had sent the funds up to them. And this funding is now used towards hygiene packs, which is crucial, which is very important. People may not think of it that way, but I think of it when I sent it up with the intention that, oh, sisters, we cannot be there with you. But one thing for sure, we want you to be safe, and please have more children, so that we can make sure that the Palestinian population is not wiped out. And we need our sisters to be strong on the other side. So wherever we can help them or aid them, this is important. Every aspect, whether you are giving them water, whether you are giving them food, whether you are giving them hygiene packs, whether it be Salam Media, whether it be Gift of the Givers, Ashraful Aid, Al-Imdad, whoever the organization may be, it's important that we highlight all of this to everybody. Please, people, come on board. Make yourself visible. We are very comfortable here in South Africa. We do not understand the plight of these Palestinians. Voice your opinions. Go out there, be part of marches, be part of boycotts. Boycotting has played a crucial role. The artwork has played a crucial role. Let us sell our paintings. Let us take these funds and contribute it to the various organizations that are doing the feeding schemes, toiletry needs, and the daily requirements of these Palestinians. They are in a state of devastation. It is a genocide, no matter what we may call it. It is a genocide. Innocent civilians' lives are being lost there, and we need to help them wherever we can. It's crucial that we play this integral role, and Aqsa Week is only 1 week, but I say for the rest of the year, we must conscientize ourselves, and we must still continue. Let it not just fade away with the Aqsa week. This is the week to create the reality, the realization of what's going on there, so that we can continue thereafter and know that it is important for us to be part of Aqsa and not just be in our daily mundanities.
Definitely. I think you touched on a very important point. I think I was about to ask what happens after AXA week has ended. How do we keep on pushing the momentum? To not be despondent and say, okay, we're going to wait for the next AXA week to come along, and then you have people riling up again and doing all of those things that you counted. How do we stay motivated? Even when sometimes it looks really bleak. I mean, sometimes you can look at the news and see the numbers of the people that have died in Palestine, and all the atrocities that are happening, and not only in Gaza but also in other parts of Palestine, Al-Aqsa, for instance, where people during prayers are shoved and pushed around, are shot at, and they're tear gassed, and you start feeling despondent. You're like, am I really making a difference by all the little things that I'm doing? I'm sure it has reached every person's mind, where you like, here so far away in South Africa, how am I really making a difference, especially when active weeks like AXA week come to an end?
Yes, now we are very fortunate in the sense of social media.
Mm,
Alhamdulillah, for social media, we have excellent people out there on Instagram, Facebook, and the like. So there are people all over that are voicing their opinions. Continue. Show it on your status, for that matter. Put it as your profile pictures. Go onto Instagram, make a comment. Go onto Facebook, make a comment. Continue. Let it not end with Aqsa Week. Aqsa Week is just that highlight of, yes, we are still all together. Yes, we are doing it. And how can we do it? And from this Aqsa Week, there are many plans and ideas that come along. So use this and implement this and continue lighting the lamp for Aqsa. As Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had stated that we must continue lighting the lamp for Aqsa. So inshallah, we will continue, whether it be in whatever format, social media, artwork, discussions, going out to have meetings, going out to support the various organizations, attending, having a little get together, all in the name of Palestine. This is what we need to do. We need to continue and to uplift and carry on this program just after Aqsa week as well. During this Aqsa week, Alhamdulillah, I've managed to get together and do a little scroll for Palestinian Information Network, which will be going out to all the various madrasas, Islamic schools, and whatever. Please participate in it. It's important that everybody participates in this Aqsa week as well. So get involved wherever you can. Get involved with whichever Palestinian organization you feel comfortable working with. Get involved with them and do these things and continue with all this. Feel motivated, and the minute you feel demotivated, please give me a call and I'll motivate you, and I'm ready to go all out for Aqsa.
mm,
Alhamdulillah.
mm. Definitely. I think you can't separate, the history of Palestine with the history of South Africa. I want to ask if, we know what was happening in South Africa back in the 1950, I think 1956, where you had women, that were leading, in the front lines in the call against apartheid. Here in South Africa, as the Nelspruit Women's Forum, are you seeing the same trend where women, are in the forefront in leading activism against, what's happening in Palestine and against Israel's occupational forces? Is the mindset still the same? And how can we conscientize more young women to come on board to say, you can't just stay at home? 1956 is a perfect example where, women from all walks of life marched to the union buildings, to speak out against, the apartheid government and all the atrocities that they were doing here at home. And, South African women can again lead the struggle of the Palestinian people, even if it seems so far away.
Yes, we're talking now of the Mandela woman, the Tambo
Mm,
woman. Yes, they were strong women. They were motivated. Well, they had struggled on first hand. So as a result, they brought about conscientizing people. They made those small little underground moves to create the ability of people opening themselves up to realizing that women play an important role, because we are the laps of which the future society lives on. We are the laps from which our children arise, and we never know who the future leaders will be that will be carrying this through for the world, and who the leaders like the Mandelas. I mean, really, if it wasn't for Nelson Mandela crying out at that time and making his point, I think South Africa wouldn't have been as involved as it is currently. And we thank our current Cyril Ramaphosa as well for doing his bit. And of course, our golden lady. If we look at her, uh, she's just Naledi. I
Naledi
mean,
Pando,
she's a
yes. Minister
woman.
Naledi Pando, yes.
Yeah, Naledi is a woman that has just grown above things and had shown that numbers don't matter, even if it be a small number of countries in Africa that will be joining us. Let us create that voice. Let us make that noise. Let us continue. We're not going to sit hands down and watch these atrocities continue. So it's important that we get the women involved, because the women are the mothers of the nation. And if the mothers of the nation can get themselves up to standard regarding the politics, regarding the religious aspect, and regarding everything that's going on. We're very good at collecting monies. Let us save a little bit from our takings on a monthly basis, and contribute this towards Aqsa. Every 10 rand, I'm not counting the millions, I'm counting every 10 rand. And that 10 rand makes that difference to that person in Gaza, because it is given with a strong intention. So women, please try and control your budgets and try and save a bit towards Aqsa, and on a monthly basis, put aside a certain amount of funding and make it possible for these people to get bread on their food for them, basically. Let us strive to do whatever we can as women. Women are strong. Women are out there. They're making the points. They're driving everything. So I think we need to, in every single town, the women need to come up and realize that we need to benefit this cause far more than what is currently going on.
Definitely. Just before I let you go, Firoza, are there any initiatives, any projects that the Nelspruit Muslim Women's Forum is currently running, and those that are at home, they want to be involved, they want to donate some money, they want to be part of the marches and the pickets? How can they get involved? What projects are they, and how do they get hold of you?
Okay, so basically, we always have a women's group, a WhatsApp women's group, and I always post onto the group whatever the requirements are, and the women come forward and they donate. We have our madrasa also currently running a brilliant project at the madrasa. On a daily basis, they have some kind of conscientizing. And it was amazing when Salam Media came up with Mariam Mia and Abir Zayad, and the questions that the children from Nelspruit had asked. This is all inquiring minds of what's happening at grassroots levels. When you educate the little ones, the older ones that had missed the boat are getting educated along with their little ones. So programs like this continue at the madrasas, at the schools, at the institutes of education, which are highly uplifting. And this educates the children, bringing back home knowledge to the parents as well. And all of a sudden, you find that there's an influx of people wanting to contribute and donate. Now, where do we donate? Who do we donate to? And this is where the questions start happening. Contribute towards this organization, they doing this for Aqsa, and that organization, they doing this. So Alhamdulillah, in South Africa, we've got a good branding of organizations, wonderful work being carried out. Every single one is doing their bit. And Alhamdulillah, we are making waves. We may have a third world country, but our third world country is putting aside a colonialist, uh, uh, you know, uh, you know, it angers me to use that word, but putting aside a colonialist country that has been always bragging about their pounds and their dollars, our rands are far stronger in the sense of our having to give in the form of charity. So whether it be a rand, whether it be a pound, whether it be a dollar, Let us make that difference and let us contribute it and give it to the right causes. It only comes back tenfold.
Mm. Well, there you have it. Head of Nelspruit Muslim Women's Forum. A very passionate Firoza Omar there. I'm charged up. I'm charged up. If there are any
Good, good,
initiatives,
good.
please
I hope
sign
I've,
us
I've
up. Yet
lit the
allow me to
match.
be a part of it. But thank you so
Good,
much for
good.
joining us. And I hope the message spreads far and beyond about how important this week is, but not just this week, but going above and beyond what we've already been doing for the people of Palestine. Thank you so much for giving us your time, and hope to talk to you again, inshallah.
Only a pleasure. Go out there and light the match and keep the oil lamp burning for Aqsa, not only in this week, but throughout the year. Thank you so much
Ameen.
for having me. Thank you to Salam Media and the
Well, there you have it, Firoza Omar there, cutting as she was giving her thanks. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be speaking AFCON. South Africa playing their semi-final match today against our rivals. It's called the African Derby. They're playing Nigeria this evening, and keep an eye on that. We'll be speaking to sports journalist Mpomo Ukrani about what we can expect on that match, and hopefully, as South Africans will be going to the finals, a feat that we haven't reached since 1996. So you can imagine how long that was. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you after this.